Hi, everybody, and welcome to season number 5 of Off Track TV, coming to you live from the Volusia Speedway production studios in Volusia, New York. My name is the voice, Shane Andrews, and joining me once again, Dan Kapuscinski. And Dan, welcome back, my man. It seems like it's been forever.
It does, but it was nice to make the drive down Route 31 today to come back here to Volusia Speedway and get ready for a brand new season. It feels good.
Well, let's get things rolling. Hey, we want to hear from you. We're going to take your questions and answer them at the end of the show. You can send us your questions at info@weedsportproductions.com or give us a hit on Facebook, or you can send me a tweet. It's NYVoice13, or you can even reach out to Dan on Twitter.
That's right. A little more difficult, at Dan_Kapuscinski.
Well, Dan is easy, D-A-N.
Well, that's true.
Dan, what have you been doing in the off season?
Racing. There is no off season. We've been busy doing the Champ Kart racing, which we're going to see some highlights on some of the indoor action that we've had going on, but just keeping busy. Fortunately, not running the snowblower as much as I thought I might have had to.
Yeah, that's true. Fortunately, the snowblower has been in the garage, which is a good place to keep it, and we're just right around the corner. The racing season here in Central New York had its bit of a unofficial start this past weekend with the Motorsports Show in Syracuse, New York. You and I both had an opportunity to go there and see the show and find out what was going on for this year. And I got to ask, which was more exciting for you? Was it being a proud dad walking around with your son Michael, or seeing the gleam in his eye, seeing all those race cars up close for the first time this year?
Well, all of it was great, honestly. I had a chance to bring Michael out. I had my go-kart there on display at the Weedsport booth, so I got to push him around in that afterwards. But it's hard to believe it's been 2 years since we've had that experience. I had taken him 2 years ago, and he remembered things from then, and seeing the race cars and grabbing the schedules and buying the Matchbox cars. It's a great experience. I encourage everybody to try it out each spring.
Absolutely. A great family event, a great way to, if you will, talk great racing, a hot stove league, if you will, to sit around, catch up on all the racing gossip and see what's going on for the upcoming season. The racing season in the Northeast still a couple of weeks away, but the DIRTcar Big Block Modifieds for the Super DIRTcar Series made their annual trip down to Volusia Speedway Park just a month ago. We'll find out more about that in just a moment. But up here in Central New York, we did get a little flavor of racing last weekend with the indoor racing. And congratulations, Dan, a 4th place finish in the Champ Kart race.
Yeah, thank you very much. It felt good to finally have a good run in the Champ Kart. Very difficult to get those things around on the concrete. But Nick Harrivan, Josh Philpott, the guys at Slack Karts really put a great cart under me, and we were fortunate enough to run with some of the best, including Missy Boots, John Keister, who ended up being the series champion. It felt really good to have a top 5.
And Missy, of course, has competed here at the Kartway, the short port.
That's right. She's won races right here at Weedsport. A really, really good runner from down in the Pennsylvania area. Had an opportunity to run a TQ midget at Allentown as well, and she's a really good racer.
Speaking of those TQ midgets, they took center stage on Saturday night, this past Saturday, at the Exposition Center in Syracuse, a 40-lap feature to crown a champion for the 2022 Indoor Racing Series. Let's take a look at some of the action that took place over there on the concrete. It was a 40-lap feature as Catalano and Cecily up on the front row at the top of the green. 7-second laps, Dan. There's no time to react. It's go.
No, not at all. And the racetrack kind of threw everybody a curveball by feature time because all of the rubber on the inside of the track had completely pulled up. So usually you want to be right around on the inside on those yellow tires, but the rubbered lane was on the outside.
One of the favorites coming into the event, Andy Jankowiak, he's in the green and black car on top of the number 46. Let's take a look here. When I say no time to react, stuff happens quick here, and Jankowiak jumps the front end of the 46 and ends up nose into the wall. He's able to return.
Yeah, anything that happens on the concrete is certainly a chain reaction situation.
Eric Rudolph in the number 22 leading. Briggs Danner in the 48 gets in him. He goes around sending off a skirmish behind him. They get everybody lined back up. We refire, and this time we're going to have, with 3 laps to go, Ryan Bartlett in the 93, Andy Jankowiak in the 57.
Oh, man, hard racing right there. Ryan Bartlett's been running so good in that TQ lately. Andy J got a great run on the outside. Miraculously, after ending up on the Jersey barrier, the car lands on all 4 wheels, and he keeps going.
This was the battle for the lead with 2 laps remaining. Ryan Bartlett, successful in big block modified racing in Central New York. He will lead the field with Scott Kruder and Anthony Cecily giving chase. And on this night, the driver out of Watertown, New York, picks up his first indoor TQ win.
You know, it was great to see. It's always awesome to see a first-time winner in any division, but the Bartletts have been following this circuit for several years now, had not really had all that great a success, but they put it all together, and Ryan has only gotten better and better each time he's run that car.
Ryan Bartlett, his first indoor win, his first, been trying since 1998.
For the longest time.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you, it's they've gone through a couple of different race cars. They ended up in a Lafleur chassis here in the last year and a half, 2 years. They've really hit their stride, and Ryan has become really a very good indoor racer.
So we go from the indoor back to the outdoors. The Big Block Modified Super Dirt Car Series made their annual pilgrimage down to Volusia Speedway Park in the month of February for 5 big nights of racing. Let's take a trip down to the Sunshine State. Night number 1, the Batman, Peter Britton in the number 21A and Stuart Friesen in the 44. They bring the field down to Dave Farney's green flag. Track a little bit rough as they just resurfaced it.
That's right, but I'll tell you what, Volusia did a great job over the course of the 2 weeks of this program to get the racetrack in a racy condition. You can see it right here up front as Stuart Friesen and Peter Britton did battle through the duration of this main event.
And this is how it was, back and forth. You could literally throw a blanket over them as the 44 Friesen and the 21A of Peter Britton. Slide jobs were on the menu as the Batman takes the lead, but Friesen, he's going to come right back after him.
And I'll tell you what a vote of confidence for Peter Britton, though, here in this first race of the week to come out, run door-to-door with Stuart Friesen, who's had so much success here at Volusia through the years. And this was just an amazing battle, especially once they got into lap traffic.
As they are in traffic with 3 laps remaining, the Batman leading the way right here, hits a rut, pulls a wheelie, has to get things resettled underneath him, and this allows Friesen to close back in on the 21A.
And that's really just a tough luck situation. You know, Peter could hit that spot 2 or 3 other times and the car wouldn't react the same way, but it just so happened that that time it threw his rhythm off and was allowed, Friesen was able to get on by.
Stuart Friesen in the 44 picks up the win, night number 1 at Volusia Speedway Park to kick off the DIRTcar Nationals. Night number 2, the Baldwinsville Bandit Jimmy Phelps in the 98H and the number 44 Stuart Friesen back on the front row, and there's the Batman, the 21A of Peter Britton once again.
Yeah, it's funny, you go to these races where you have multiple events in a row and guys get on a roll, they get into a rhythm, and you can see that again right here with Britton and Friesen.
How about Jack Lehner, the Ginger Ninja, and that number 2L had a great showing. He'd end up with a podium on this night, but it would come down to this. Jimmy Phelps in the 98H, Peter Britton in the 21A, the very last lap, heading down into turn number 3 and 4, the Batman. Can he pull off? Both of these drivers looking for their first Volusia win.
Yeah, and it really just came down to the wire here. Britton had just enough on the outside to edge out Jimmy for the win, but Shane, it was like we talked about just a couple of seconds ago, the line that cost him the race against Friesen won him the race here against Phelps.
The Batman by a bat wing on night number 2 for his first Florida win. Night number 3, Stuart Friesen again up on the front row. Luck of the draw, you win your heat race, you go to the draw and you pick a good number, and he did it 3 nights in a row. Matt Williamson in the 88, Rick Laubach in that number 1 right behind him. And this one would be a battle of the 44 and the 88 car for the rest of the evening.
That's right. You can see the racetrack just getting that much better, smooth this time pretty much all the way across the board, and these drivers able to use every inch of this Volusia Speedway Park.
Both of these drivers have won in the past. Now bring it into the equation. Mad Max McLaughlin and that crazy 8H back with the HBR Racing Team for 2022.
That's right. And Max, of course, has had great runs here at Volusia through the years. Got his first quote-unquote Super Dirt Series win right here at Volusia Speedway Park, and he's throwing his hat into the ring trying to get around that 88.
He will do so. He'll clear the Friesen 44, and now he's setting sights on the race leader, the 88 of Matt Williamson. But Williamson a little bit better rolling through the middle of the speedway as Money Matt Williamson out of St. Catharines, Ontario, Canada would go on to collect the win for night number 3.
3 different winners in 3 nights. Not a bad thing to see.
Night number 4, Mad Max in the 8 car on the outside of the front row. Double D, Demetrius Drelos in that number 111. He grabbed the pole position from the redraw, and these two would set sail out in front, battling for that number 1 spot.
Well, it was the same thing we had seen the last couple of nights. Once one driver would kind of get a bit of a momentum, it would carry into the next night, and that's what we're seeing here with McLaughlin. He'd moved up front last night, now in position to battle for a win here in night number 4.
Great shot right here as Jimmy Phelps in the 98H looking for position number 2 under the Drelos number 111 to give the HBR team a 1-2 run at this point.
But Max McLaughlin, he was a little too much to handle here on night number 4, took that 8H all the way to victory lane here for his second career win at Volusia Speedway Park.
Night number 5, the final night of the DIRTcar Nationals for the Super Dirt Car Series Big Block Modifieds. Championship implications on the line. Jimmy Phelps draws the pole in the number 98H, and the Bandit has the Super Matt Shepard 9S and the Adam Pearson number 215 chasing after
That's
him.
right, and track position would be key in this one. Jimmy was able to find the inside of the racetrack right off the bat from the green flag, and you can see that rubbered strip on the bottom. Tire wear was going to become an issue.
And you can see Peter Britton, a right rear flat on his number 21A, taking him out of contention. Jimmy Phelps would pedal his way to his first Volusia Speedway win, and he would collect that elusive gator for the DIRTcar Nationals championship.
That's right, something Jimmy's been chasing for a lot of years, finally to pull it down here in 2022.
So we saw 5 nights of racing. We saw Peter Britton. We saw Stuart Friesen, Matt Williamson, Max McLaughlin, and Jimmy Phelps. 5 nights, 5 different winners.
Well, like I said, parity's not a bad thing. We're seeing that in motorsports across the board right now, and the Super Dirt Series certainly seems to have it as we head into the spring.
We are just getting things started here on Off Track TV. Joining us in studio next, the man who hoisted that gator in Florida, the champion of the DIRTcar Nationals, Jimmy Phelps, joins us in studio when we return.
Sport Productions is the live video production company that you need at your next event. Our mobile production truck is outfitted with the most advanced broadcast equipment in the industry. Weed Sport Productions covers racing, live sporting events, corporate events, and concerts. We can broadcast your event live, stream it to the internet, or produce an exciting in-venue experience for your audience. Visit weedsportproductions.com now to learn more.
Welcome back to Off Track TV. Joining us in studio, the 2022 DIRTcar Nationals champion, driver of the HBR Racing 98H, Jimmy Phelps, the Baldwinsville Bandit. Jimmy, welcome back to Weed Sport. It's like you never left.
No, it's like we never left.
Hey,
but it's good to have you guys here. That's for sure.
It's great to be back. Congratulations on that gator.
Thank you.
You know, there's a lot of cool trophies in motorsports, and you've won some very big races. You won the 358 race at Syracuse. You've won the Outlaw 200. You've won the New Yorker 100. Your first DIRTcar Nationals champion. How cool was it to get that gator?
Oh, it was awesome. I mean, it's, we've struggled down there, which I guess made it even more special. And we've had more moments. We've had a bunch of seconds, but we'd back it up with a 15th, you know what I mean? So our consistency really just hasn't been there over the years. And we just were fortunate to unload fast, and we're able to just keep tweaking and stay in the hunt. And but yeah, it was really neat to come and finally bring some hardware back here.
I heard that thing's fragile, though.
It's very. We learned that the hard way, yeah.
Jimmy, you talk about trying to build on the consistency. It felt like, I think it was just a couple years ago, you guys didn't even go to Florida. Went down last year, didn't do as well as you would have liked to have done. So it's got to feel good to go and put a full week together at that racetrack.
And I think that's what was most important to us as a race team, was to be able to go there and not just kind of have a night or two where we hit it well in qualifying and, got some track position. I mean, every night we were in the hunt. Every night we were, up in the front of the time charts in our groups, and that allowed us to get into the redraw. And that's, that's what you need to do to run well down there. There's only a handful of guys that are going to get in that redraw compared to a dozen on a normal night, and there's a lot less laps to get to the front. So qualifying's big, and the car was fast enough to get us up front every night. And then we were able to make some good adjustments, and the car was real versatile from hot laps right on through the feature. We didn't have to make a ton of huge changes, and that was awesome.
Second, night number 2, almost had your first victory then. The final night, you come back, you guys rebound, and you get that first win. How much momentum is that going into the Northeast season, running that well in Florida and having that behind you now?
No, I think listen, confidence is key, and I think it's half the battle, at least from a driver's standpoint, it's half the battle. And, we left there real upbeat. The guys are excited about getting started up here, and, that's very important. Everybody's gung-ho, and that's some things, you don't always leave Florida with that kind of momentum. So we'll see. We know we're going to see some different challenges up here, but at the same token, if your car's fast, it's fast. We just got to be smart enough to make adjustments where needed, and we got a good group of guys here, and I think we're onto some pretty good stuff that's giving us some speed, so I think we'll be fine.
Talk about the new dynamic, too. I mean, not really new, but a return, the teammate now with Max McLaughlin. You've got some new faces in the shop. There's definitely a different feel there under the roof at HBR.
Yeah, then there's a certain, I'm not saying that we weren't enthusiastic, but a bigger group of guys, and they're good guys. And, I mean, they're guys that we've, got a history with. We worked well with them over the years and stayed friends with them, right on through the years he wasn't around. So, and he's gotten pretty smart, and he's really good, and he's learned these cars. And, I said a few weeks back, I was talking to somebody, I'm doing a lot of relying on him and relying on feedback from him. And I said, the nice part of that, Max doesn't have 25 years of notes to throw away like we did. So it's, I think it's time that we start, we can rein that in a little bit. I think it'll help me.
Jimmy Phelps, driver of the number 98H, HBR Racing, Big Block Modified, joining us here in studio. Let's shift gears to the 2022 season. We've got the Super Dirt Car Series kicking off next weekend. First time going to Atomic Speedway, and then full bore after that. What are the plans for the HBR team?
Well, our plans are to run the entire tour. Obviously, we kick off in Atomic and then head back north, and and then I think after that it might slow down for a few weeks, and then we're back at it again. So the series looks good this year. We're going, we're going to the staple tracks, and there's a few new ones sprinkled in, so it's kind of exciting. And then we'll do Brewerton on Friday nights again. And then after that, we'll just do what fits. There's some shows, some specials that make sense, to us that we're looking to do that we got circled. Obviously at the end of the year we got the Fulton 200 for sure, probably penciled in, and we're just going to kind of take it as it comes and focus on the tour, focus on Brewerton, and whatever else makes sense, we're going to try to do it.
I was going to say, you've made some other trips down south this year that you haven't made in the past. It seems like you're opening that schedule up a little bit more to try to learn really as much as possible.
Well, there's no denying that, there's some pretty good money at some of those non-dirt series shows, so it got to the point where we kind of felt that we're to the point now where, we're here, we got a great race team, we got the people to do it, and it's kind of foolish for us to sit home for some of them that make sense.
Right, and really the sport, from a money standpoint, the sport seems to be in as good a position as it's ever been from a winner standpoint.
Yeah, I think it's it's in the best situation it's been since I started doing it. You hear the stories about the purses haven't changed in 30 years, but I don't remember having this many races pay over $10,000 in my entire life. So I don't agree with that.
Right.
Well, this season, your schedule is changing a little bit more. I know you plan on doing a little bit more racing as your responsibilities here at Weedsport have changed. A major announcement made this week.
Yeah, we made a deal on hired Joe Scott-Nicky as a new promoter / general manager of the Speedway. I'm not going anywhere. We're still here. I'm not sure. It's going to take some time to transition and get everybody working together and get the ball rolling on that. So, for a few months at least, I think until at least we open, I'll still be super busy. But, the goal was to kind of get somebody overseeing things so that when we're here, when we're racing, or we have to be somewhere else racing, or we have to be somewhere else doing something else, the show goes on, and it goes on better, bigger and better, and it's something we can build, down the road. We can build, the future of the Speedway, and it's exciting, and it's all positive.
Yeah, fans probably don't understand. I always thought it would be cool to essentially follow you on an evening at Weedsport when you're racing and promoting at the same time, because there's so much that goes on from top to bottom.
It'd probably be more interesting if you got my crew aside and asked them what they thought of us of a night of me at Weedsport, because I'm not the friendliest guy, and then I know I frustrate them too, but it's gotten easier over the years, but you still find your brain out in outer space at times, so that's, it's easy to come in off the track and say the car's no good, or I'm not, we're missing something. But quite honestly, if you're not rolling out on the track 100% focused with this group of guys we're racing with right now, it's you're in for a long night.
Exactly.
And this is one of the toughest groups on the Super Dirt Car Series, if you look over the last 3 to 4 years that we have had for regular series travelers.
Yeah, I agree, and I think there's a big part of that's the coilovers. It was a real big equalizer, and it brought the youth to the front some. I think we've talked about this before. When you take a car, you got to drive these cars almost like you're mad at them now, and the style is just different. It's been an adjustment for me. It's been an adjustment for a lot of guys, and but then I almost think it's shortened the learning curve a little bit on the driving end for some of the youth. So like, we got these guys coming in, these kids are fast, and it took it from 6-7 guys that could win any given night to 20.
Well,
you know
you're
what I
taking
mean?
kids
And
out of sportsmen that are having to keep them wound up and drive them hard, and you used to want to do that in a big block.
and listen, I mean, selfishly, I'd rather go back to a year where, we had a top 5 car, and even when we missed it, we had a 6th place car. But those days are gone, and then I think in the grand scheme of things, it's really awesome. So it's good. The sports, the dirt modifieds as a whole is in a good place. I mean, we're getting national recognition that we didn't get 5-10 years ago, and that can't hurt. So.
Absolutely.
Oh, I think you're absolutely spot on with that. Anytime that we can grow the sport in any direction, it benefits all of us.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, it benefits the tracks. It benefits the, we need sponsors. We need good car owners. We need drivers to look at this as a good opportunity to come in and maybe not necessarily make a living, but I think if you look at the different divisions of racing, dirt modifieds is something that, while it's very expensive to get into, the cost per lap's probably not as crazy as some of the asphalt racing and some of the different kinds of racing. So you look around the Central New York, you got 300 sportsmen. So there's some future here that's good.
Well, Jim, before we run out of time, from a facility standpoint, I did want to bring up, obviously, the opportunity to have a back-to-back days with the World of Outlaws here at Weedsport this year. Certainly a unique opportunity that I don't think most people probably saw happening.
No, it's something we've been working on for several months. And, them guys coming to New York in general is a difficult trek, obviously, for them. And so super fortunate, very excited to get them here for a weekend. It's a big deal. When you look at venues that have historically housed a 2-day show, it gets a lot of attention. The fans love it. It makes it into somewhat of a festival, a weekend of entertainment, camping, different stuff like that. And that's something we've been striving to do for a long time, and we're just fortunate this year it worked out.
Excellent.
Looking forward to it. And, of course, full schedule, WeedsportSpeedway.com for everything that's going to be happening here at the track. Before we let you go, what did you name the Gator?
I don't think we did name it.
Oh, we may have to have a contest.
We'll have to come up with that.
Buddy.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, we wanted to bring the Gator tonight, but I believe it's down with Mr. Hankey, correct?
It is.
Yes.
Yeah, it finally made it to Connecticut, so that was cool.
Well, Jim, congratulations on your championship down there in Florida. Thanks for everything you do here at the Weedsport Speedway. Dan and I are heavily involved. We appreciate the opportunity to work with you again and with everybody, and best of luck out on the tour this year.
Thank you. Appreciate that, and likewise, we couldn't do this without you guys.
When we return, Dan and I are going to try and solve or maybe even create some of the world's problems here from the studio as we take your questions when we return here on Off Track TV.
Weedsport Speedway is home of the fastest cars and biggest stars. With over $1 million in recent upgrades, our fans know this is the premier race destination in the Northeast. The fan experience is at the forefront of everything we do. LED light shows, luxury suites, premium stadium seating, and a 27-foot HD video display to engage and entertain fans. And by the way, our fans? Yeah, our fans kick ass. They are committed and loyal. They bring their families to races. They consistently engage with us over social media, on our website, and tune into our incredible productions airing on national TV and streaming online. This year features an exciting season of events. It's a blast to go fast. Want to talk to a growing audience and next-generation fans? Customized sponsorship opportunities make it super easy. We have event sponsorships, product sponsorships, digital billboards, web, social, digital ads, race day displays and signage, booths and promotions. Video opportunities both in venue, on national TV, and streaming online. The drivers, the excitement, the speed. The Port Burgers are why fans show up. At Weed Sports Speedway, our venue and production are the reason they keep coming back. Be a part of the best season yet.
Welcome back to our season opening show of Off Track TV for 2022. Shane Andrews, Danny Kaye, along with you here this evening. Well, Dan, you know, we've got to touch base about some of the things happening at the Weed Sports Speedway this year. Some big shows coming up. Super Dirt Car Series going to be here 4 times in 2022.
That's right. A lot of the key weekends. Memorial Day weekend, obviously, with the Heroes Remembered 100, back for the Hall of Fame 100 in the middle of the summer, and then, of course, that big Cavalcade Cup weekend that I feel like we've been trying to get this weekend in for a couple of years and haven't been able to do it because of weather and this and that, and we're finally going to get to see it. So anytime the Super Dirt Car Series comes to town, it's always an exciting show here at Weed Sport.
As we mentioned in our previous segment with Jimmy Phelps, 2-day World of Outlaws NOS Energy Drink Sprint Car Show. That's going to be fantastic. We've got modifieds both nights paired with the Winged Warriors. That's going to be a great weekend. And, of course, coming up in July, the return of the American Flat Track Motorcycle Racing.
Yeah, and I always try to tell people, if you have never come to Weedsport for the AFT show, let me tell you, you're definitely missing out on a unique experience. Packed grandstands, pit party on Friday night. It's something to mark on the calendar for sure.
And if you think race car drivers have the brawn to do what they do, you need to see this really firsthand. I have a new respect for motorcycle racers.
Absolutely. You wouldn't catch me doing it.
No. You need a cage around you, right?
Exactly.
Well, except when you're in that champ cart.
Well, the champ cart has the cage. I won't
good
do
point.
any of the concrete stuff anymore if it does not have a cage on it.
Well, we talked about the big track, but how about the short port? The Weed Sports Speedway Cartway is going to be firing up again. An ambitious schedule for 2022?
Yeah, we've got 9 events that we're planning on doing. We're going to be starting here in just over a month. It's actually going to be the first big event of the year happening here at Weed Sport, April 23rd, 24th. Our spring meltdown. We're essentially carrying over the Oktoberfest event that we lost last October into April. We'll come back in May, June, July, August, right through. We'll have one event per month. You can get all the information on the Cartway right through weedsportspeedway.com. Click on the Cartway tab, and everything's right there.
Yeah, check it out. Full schedules for both the big track and the short port. We want to see you here in 2022 with us. Well, Dan, what do you say? We've got a couple of minutes here. Let's take some questions.
Sure,
you ready?
absolutely.
All right. B. Wilder 42 wants to know who will win at Atomic.
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you go first.
I was thinking about this on the car ride up, and Atomic being a 3/8 mile, a track that the series has never been to, I think you're going to have to rely on guys that obviously have plenty of past experience, but also understand the race cars, because you're going to have to go in there and adjust quickly on the fly. But I'm going to go with one guy that's already on a bit of momentum. I'm going to go with Peter Britton for one of the nights, and I'll go with Matt Shepard for one of the other. Which night, flip a coin. We'll see how it happens.
Well, if I had to take my pick right now, just building off what we saw at Volusia coming into this first series race of 2022, and knowing the size of the track, the 3/8, there's 2 guys that jump out in my mind. Number 1, Jimmy Phelps.
Yep.
You look at the success that he's had on the 3/8 mile track, in particular Fulton Speedway here in Central New York. I think he's a favorite coming into that race. And I also don't want to count out the Batman as well. Peter Britton, a lot of momentum going on for the driver out of Brisbane, Queensland, Australia. I wouldn't be surprised to see him in victory lane either.
Well, and we saw it in years past, like a driver like Max McLaughlin goes down, wins a race at Volusia, and it carries. It may not carry the whole season, but it gets you started off on the right foot. Peter will be one of those guys to watch for sure.
And, of course, Matt Shepard looking for his 9th series championship. Yeah,
It just keeps
impressive.
adding up.
Which leads us to Bubba Gump Shrimp 8852. That's an unusual name, but I like it. Wants to know, and it's only March. We haven't even had a full-blown points race yet. Who's going to be the Super Dirt Series champion in 2022?
Oh, as easy as it is to go ahead and say Matt Shepard, I don't want to be that guy. I'm not going to do it. I'm going to change it up, and I'm not going to change it up much. I'm going to stick with Matt. I'm going to go right back to Matt Williamson. I think Matt Williamson will come through with the longevity, the consistency, get his second series championship.
Bubba Gump Shrimp 8852. I'm going to defer to this, is that I am going to answer that question after the first series race. But no, I shouldn't do that. I will answer it. Who do I think is going to be the series champion in 2022? I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to say it's going to be Peter Britton.
Certainly has the capability, the consistency, and actually that's what we've seen more than not from Peter has been consistency. That's right. Not the trips to victory lane. All he's got to do is put them both together. And
he's going back to tracks that he has started to see multiple times over. But at this point, it's anybody's ball game. Who knows who's going to be the champion in 2022? We're going to have to wait and crown that champion in November.
That's the best part about it. We just don't know.
Dan, it's the fastest half hour in motorsports. We are out of time.
That's right. But I enjoy it. I can't wait to be back next time. It's finally here. It's spring. It's racing season. It's warm outside. Let's do it.
Our next show is Thursday night, March 31st, 8 o'clock, Facebook Live. We hope you will join us then. For everybody behind the scenes, Brett Moses, Art Rourke, and Don Boshin, we appreciate all you do. For Dan Kapuscinski, my name is The Voice, Shane Andrews, saying thank you for joining us, and we'll see you next time right here on Off Track TV.